receive the garland from Jagannath. And he has a whole mission, and for that, preparing that mission from Bhaktivinoda's given a solid foundation to Bhaktisiddhanta. From the seventh of age, he gave the Kurma deities, which was unearthed, and he was first start worshipping and had received from his father Narsimha mantra and Tulsi bead to chant. And he was used to hear Srimad Bhagavatam class with the rapid attention, and even people was used to surprise. And he has a photogenic memory that he has memorized whole Bhagavad Gita. Not even memorized, he was able to explain meaning of each and every connection and meaning, and the whole depth realization was there. He start learning proofreading. He inherited this all qualities he's inherited from his father, that it was inbuilt in him. And this proofreading he started doing, and that was the mission he gave it to Prabhupada, to write books and have spread everywhere. He visited many holy dham, and he trained in many Vedic knowledge and astrology, and wrote many commentaries on that. He was not used to, Bhaktisiddhanta was not used to focus on like school teachings, but he was more focused on Narottam Das Thakur teachings. That was the foundation for. And if we read Narottam Das Thakur, is like our acharyas are amazing, and their depth, and even in very early age, Bhaktisiddhanta was understanding acharya's mood and in their teachings. He took vows to have a spiritual foundation, and this is all the spiritual foundation is going on. And he took the celibacy of Chaturmasya and vows to have 1 billion names. It took 9 years for him to complete. He took the celibacy of vow of celibacy, and there was a peer group created by Bhaktivinoda Thakura. He was the only one who left with that vow. Rest of all of them married. And he was the dropped out. And he dropped out with intention of that, because he was knowing the norms of the society, that if I'm going through this cycle, and ultimately they wanted me to be work and then have marriage and settle down, and that was not Bhaktisiddhanta interest. So he chose to drop out and had put his efforts into the real purpose. And after that he employed to the royal of the Tripura, and learned the 6 branches. Sorry, this is the secondary. We did the part preparatory years. And he did, he was offered many, he was offered seats by the Ashutosh. He says he's the very prominent figure in Calcutta that time, very important person. He says, no, I don't want it. He published many books and magazines and opened many academies. And there's a big detail of that. But his primary focus was always, I have to spread the mission of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And now we'll be doing mission next, the mission, but Srila Bhaktisiddhanta inherited, and he wanted to in his sannyasa life. So now we'll be all covering the rest of the book. So in 1914 and 1915, both of his fathers, Siksha Guru and Shiksha Guru, both left, and he felt very alone. And yesterday we talked about it. He got the vision, he got the assurance, he got the strength, he got the backup from there. We are there with you. Carry on. We are behind you. Go and do it. And he find it. And so from today, this is our slide start. So I have mostly written the things because this is the reading, our reading group. So I don't want you to just say things. I want you to read along with everybody. So, and we can go along. And I had to pick very important points from, not important, means very, so we can understand, we can cover the book in 2 days. That's the purpose. So although Srila Gura Kishore Dasa Babaji ordinarily never allowed anyone to touch his feet, he has voluntarily placed his feet on the head of Siddhanta Saraswati and ordered him to preach extensively and advise him to preach the absolute truth and keep aside all other work. So that's his mission, to take the Guru's order and carry on, like very similar to Srila Prabhupada. So even while studying about Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, so much similarity of Srila Prabhupada, I find that, wow, it was a wow factor for me. So he took a sannyas in 29th March 1980, and he did with the rituals of Ramanujacharyas, Tridanda Vaishnavas, and he did in front of the picture of his guru, because there was no alive Siksha and Diksha Guru, or no God brother was available. So he chose to do that. And that time, they had, so there was a, people were very, when many people was kind of in that controversy, or there was always object few things. So they didn't object that why Bhaktisiddhanta did through the picture, but they objected maybe introducing the Varna Ashrama system. So that's the one of the chapter in this one. And this is the Varna Ashrama, just to show off that this is that. But they thought that he's going introducing from the as one of the ashrama, because so that was, but Bhaktisiddhanta, he widely spread, widely topic of, he spoke about this Devi Varnashma. He was not introducing the Varnamashma, but he was introducing the Devi Varnashma. Because Varnashma is just to, is in our conditioned stage, is the process, a ladder, a helping tool to grow, to connect towards our goals. And Varnamashma is, in Varnamashma is everything is there. What everything we needed to elevate our consciousness, our goal, and we can progress and be in this life. So that's the Devi Varna Ashrama. So that was, he defeated their argument. No, this is what I'm doing, and this is fully authorized. So here, so we'll now the mission started, established Chaitanya Math. So this is the deities of Shri Shri Gora Goranga. Bhaktisiddhanta went by himself in Jaipur, and when he saw this deity, he loved these deities. And he asked to get these deities, and they were installed in Chaitanya Math. And Bhaktisiddhanta installed them by themselves. I'm not sure about the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu deities here, but definitely for Gandharvika Giridhari deities were installed by Bhaktisiddhanta. This is one of the documents which that time when this math was originated, established that I can't read it, but this is the original document. And this is the later on picture after many years. So there was many people start joining Gaudiya Math. So there, the moment that that time period, Bhaktisiddhanta was establishing or making that mission start working, that time there was two big world events were happening. One was that there was the end of the World War first. And that time only in that Jallianwala episode happened that time. So that was a kind of a revolutionary period was going on. And Bhaktisiddhanta was doing in a revolutionary in a different sense. He was starting his mission, and he was working towards that. And at the same moment, Russia revolution was happening. Some kind of civil war and monarchy, abolition of monarchy was happening. So this one is the picture of Bhaktisiddhanta. So when Bhaktisiddhanta established the parikrama first time in Vrindavan in 1925, and in Mayapur in 1925, and in 31 is in Brij Mandal in Vrindavan. So here we can see he's in the very nice car, and if we see that Vedic culture, the things that they should not sannyasi is supposed to walk. They should not travel by the car. And when I was thinking about hearing or understanding about it, then I remember the question of Narayan Prabhu. So here is the answer of Narayan Prabhu. So here Bhaktisiddhanta is in the nice car, and sannyasis are supposed to wear just a robe, no stitched cloth, but here he's wearing some kind of jacket or coat, and there's another gentleman sitting in a very fancy clothes and cap and everything. And they were going through parikrama. And he was knowing that this will make a controversy, for people will criticize it. but he wanted to make a statement. He wanted to statement that everything can be utilized for the service of Krishna. So this he is established the Yukta Vairagya principle. So anything, if we can apply for, so when one is not attached to anything, but at the same time accept everything in relation to Krishna, one is rightly situated above possessiveness. So this is from Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1 to 255 and 5 to 6. So anything, even Bhaktisiddhanta was using this press. That was the modern press. That is one of the Yukta Vairagya principle. Because there is another one. So this is anything, either it's the fire, either it's the Prabhupada has even came from, he crossed the ocean, or Prabhupada used the cars and all the facilities Prabhupada used for spreading the Krishna consciousness. And he was falling on the path of Bhaktisiddhanta, his guru. So this is the seed for the future. So here our Srila Prabhupada, dear Prabhupada, he was met with Bhaktisiddhanta in 1922. And when he went to see Bhaktisiddhanta, he didn't went with the joy. He was very reluctant to go and see Bhaktisiddhanta because he was also very similar to Bhaktisiddhanta. I was not sure, whether there were so many pseudo gurus. He doesn't want you to go and, invest in anything. And when he came, he was very impressed. And this is okay. This is the one. And when Bhaktisiddhanta said, Prabhupada, he says, okay, you're a nice young man and you know English. Therefore, you should preach this mission of Lord specifically to English-speaking countries in the Western world. And we can see Prabhupada able to fulfill the wish of his guru. And this is the place. This is the same roof where Prabhupada and went first time to see Bhaktisiddhanta. This is in Calcutta, and this is now under ISKCON, and they are now working on it to maintain and preserve the buildings. So anybody go, and then maybe now after a few years, or maybe right now, they have, it's under construction and they're maintaining it, not preserving it kind of. So in 1933, Srila Prabhupada took formal initiation for Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati, accepting him as his spiritual master. And then in second time, like 1935 at Radhakund, Bhaktisiddhanta told to print as many books as possible as to distribute them throughout the world. And our dear Srila Prabhupada spent his whole life fulfilling that wish. Even in Vrindavan, he was writing books and it got lost. And again, he put the whole efforts. And he was used to sleep only for 3-4 hours, whole night, every time, even his deathbed, he was dictating that, he was translating the books. That's the dedication of Srila Prabhupada. So here, what Rupa Vilas Prabhu yesterday showed to us, that this was the logo of Gaudiya Math. And here in this one of the is that printing press plus Mridanga. So Bhaktisiddhanta was used to say that if we take this Mridanga, we play it, how loud we play, it can only be here only few blocks away. But if this printing Mridanga, this is the Brahad Mridanga, it can make a big loud in the whole world. So focus on that one. So that's he has a very long vision. And here Prabhupada, with all the books, he did the magic. And here all of us still in this class, in this gathering, we are devotee gathering through Zoom in the Corona time, we were having that, experiencing this magic of Prabhupada with the whole family. It's a big Prabhupada family. So when I was studying this, I felt that this is how fortunate we are that we got this strong foundation of great acharyas. Sometimes we feel we are so alone, so weak, everything is on us, but this is our acharyas. Their roots are so strong, so deep that it's our is that just to be aligned with that. That's our duty. If we just be aligned with them, just follow what they're saying, we'll be fine. It's not in our head. It's not like we all been given everything. We just have to be aligned. So there's a strong warning given by Bhaktisiddhanta about entertaining the conception of overlordship or being the master of anyone. So here's the quote from Bhaktisiddhanta said in Vyas Puja during, if a Vaishnava does not do a work of Guru, then the spiritual Vaishnava lineage will stop. Again, if he does the work of a Guru, then he becomes a non-Vaishnava. For if a Guru think I'm Guru, then the first U letter in the word Guru disappear. The word become Guru or cow. A real Guru does not make disciple and thus remain a Guru. There's a big lesson. Even though, yes, we have to take this mission forward, and everybody, Prabhupada says, you all should be Guru, means everybody in one sense, either Shiksha Guru or Cheta Guru or whatever, try your best to help others to show this path. But this is not what we are doing. We are like, when I was reading this, I felt like we are just, somebody's cooking the food and food is being very nice, food is preparing, but we are just karchi and nothing else. We have been just used in the service. And that's otherwise that pride, it will crush everything. It will be very effective for our spiritual life, and even material life we can't survive. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati's character was such that he never regarded his disciple as his disciple, but he used to see them as being that which he was received from the lotus feet of his Guru. He used to address them Prabhu. And our Srila Prabhupada inherited the same mood from Srila Bhaktisiddhanta. I'm so much forward. This is from the letter to Harigreva in Los Angeles since 1970. I'm so much moved from your kind sentiment that you have expressed for my humble activities. Actually, I'm not worthy of anyone or of the words spoken by you, but all of them are due to my spiritual master, who was so kind to me. In fact, I'm a worthless person because my spiritual master ordered me to take up this work in 1922, but I did not carry his order until 1958, when I was obliged to carry out his order by his arrangement only. This means, although I'm not very enthusiastic to carry out his order, he forced me circumstantially to accept it. So this is the special mercy upon me, and I always think about this with gratitude to this exalted personality coming directly from Vaikuntha world. And we have a great fortunate to meet him. I think that is the only credit on our part that we happen to meet him. And by some agyata skriti or unknown auspicious activities, he's so kind upon me that when I came to your country, where I was completely unknown, he sent to me some good souls like you, unsolidated. So I accept you all as assistants or representative of my Guru Maharaj, who's still helping me because I'm so feeble and unworthy. Anyway, the business which we have taken a work together is neither your business or nor my business, so far we personally concerned, but it is the business of Lord Chaitanya and his bona fide servant like my Guru Maharaj. May we all inherit this mood of Srila Prabhupada at Bhaktisiddhanta, and in every service we able to feel that this is my Guru Maharaj. Because of that, even I'm able to speak, or I'm able to put even something together. So there was a Vaishnava and Brahmana controversy. This topic was happening. So some Samartha Brahman or Kash Brahman or whatever, there was very different beliefs, thoughts were there. And they were saying there's Brahmanas is higher than Vaishnavas. And that time they were having two conflict. And first one, even if a person appearing in Sudra family is initiated by Pancharatrika initiation according to the Vaishnava scripture rule, still he remained unfit to worship Saligram Sila. And second was, anyone not taking in birth his Brahmana family cannot perform all the duties of Brahmana. And even if he is an Uttama Adhikari, he can never become an Acharya. That time Bhaktivinoda Thakura was invited to the conference, but he was bedridden. At the time was rheumatism. So he wrote out, is there no one manifested in Vaishnava world who is capable of meeting with them? And by the conclusion and original logic of scripture, put an end to their lowliest activities. which are nothing but the phrase dance of three material qualities. At this, Siddhanta Saraswati then wrote an essay entitled Brahmana versus Vaishnava. So conclusion, when he took it to Bhaktisiddhanta felt so ecstatic when he heard the powerful logic and scripture evidence put forward by his brilliant sons, that he sat up and proclaimed, Saraswati, truly, truly Saraswati, truly, truly he is the Acharya's son, illuminating the son of Vaishnava word. By the light of this judgment, the darkness of the Karmajata Samhitas, doctrine will certainly soon be dispelled. So we can say he's the ray of Vishnu. When he requested, he wanted that, like a Kapila Dev, Kapila Dev came, Kardama Muni wanted a Kapila Dev. So similarly, Bhaktisiddhanta, yesterday, the first slide we did was that. So now there's a controversy surfaced. It's all through according to the ray of Vishnu's. So Gora Mantra. Gora Mantra is one of the part of Gayatri Mantra. So they were saying, no, in 1991, the Gora Mantra should not be applicable because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu he was not accepting the position of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, even though Shastra established his position. He was having their own opinion against the Shastra. So there was a proof that convincing verses supplied by Krishna Das Kaviraj, Chaitanya Chamrita, and Vrindavan Das Thakur, Chaitanya Bhagavatam, respectively. And there's a Darshana Mala Prakasha manifestation in the house of Srivasa Thakura happened, that Leela. And Sadhupuja form was even seen by Sarvabhaumya Bhattacharya and Lord Nityananda and even King Pratanapada, something like that. And even Radha Krishna to Srila Ramananda Rai, he able to have a vision of that, but this is nope. And because they were having different understanding, they wanted a proof from the original Vedas, and they objected the worship of deities form of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, claimed that the Gora Mantra was not an eternal Vedic mantra. And that time, our Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhupada, he cited the proof he gave from all the evidence from Shveta Shastra, Upanishad, Smriti, Tantra, Prana, especially from Srimad Bhagavatam. And one of them I have just quoted here. If anybody is interested, there's many quotes are there in the book, and we can even find it. So this is the evidence from the Shruti, particularly from the Chaitanya Upanishad, from the Arthava Veda. Brahma said, I shall tell thee the secret. On the bank of Janvi and Navdeepa, which is called Golokadham, shall Govinda in a two-armed form, a Gora, a great one, the great mystic, who is the transcendental to the three mode of material nature, and whose form is eternal, reveal bhakti to the world. There are a number of verses in that regard. So that's where Brahma is establishing the proof of and evidence of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So here, now Srila Prabhupada so our Srila Prabhupada commented on here in Siddhanta Saraswati's strong preaching against the caste Goswami and Samritas. My Guru Maharaj's contribution is that he defeated the caste Goswami. He defeated this Brahmanism. He did it the same way as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did. As Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Kipa Vipra Kipa Nasi Sutra Kenanaya Yehe Krishna Tattva Veta Se Guru Haya. There is no consideration whether one is sannyasi, a brahmana, a sudra, or grasta. No, anyone who knows the science of Krishna, he is all right. He is the Goswami and he is a brahmana. This was my Guru Maharaj's contribution, and for this reason, he had to face so many protests from this brahmana of the caste Goswami. Once they conspired to kill him. My Guru Maharaj told, so this is Prabhupada's continue. So once they conspired to kill him, my Guru Maharaj told me personally, by his grace, when we used to meet alone, he used to talk about so many things. He was so kind that he used to talk with me, and he personally told me that these people, they wanted to kill me. When my Guru Maharaj was present, even big scholars were afraid to talk with even his beginning student. My Guru Maharaj was called living in an encyclopedia. He could talk with anyone on his subject. He was so learned and no compromise. So-called saints, avatars, yogis, everyone who was false was an enemy to my Guru Maharaj. He never compromised. Some God brother complained that this preaching was a chopping technique and it would not be successful, but those who criticized him fell down. So Bhaktisiddhanta was the enemy of the falsehood, but there was many people who were striving or thriving on that falsehood. So there's a one story that one time Bhaktisiddhanta, one Kash Brahmana, he hired the kind of a hitman, Gunda, to put give harm to Bhaktisiddhanta. And when he went to that particular place and wanted to do that, and that time that very intelligent and very one of the disciple, he changed switched the clothes with him, his guru. And so he changed, he was wearing his white, he gave it back to Bhaktisiddhanta, his white clothes, and he wore that saffron. That time, that's how Bhaktisiddhanta was able to escape from that hitman. And that person who was the disciple who changed the cloth, ultimately he gave the sannyas initiation to Srila Prabhupada. So Keshava Maharaj ki jai ho. So mission to make Achintya Bheda Bheda Tattva principle widely understood. So Achintya Bheda Bheda Tattva. So Srila Bhaktisiddhanta has a very unique personality. He was he was a lion king, very strong. You cannot have any controversy or you cannot divert from any teachings or anything. He was stand against you. He will challenge you. But he has a very soft-hearted too. He wanted the best for everyone, and he wanted to take all the sampradayas, take them as a big unit, as a Vaishnava Sampradaya, and let's propagate the sublime teaching of Lord Chaitanya in the form of the writing of 6 Goswami of Vrindavan, especially Srila Sanatam Goswami, Srila Rupa Goswami, and Srila Raghunath Das Goswami. So in this, to take them, everyone together, his idea was that if they are unified, so although there are some distinction, yes, there are distinction, but ultimately teachings their essence is the same. So although there are some distinction in the teaching of the Vaishnava Acharya, they are united in their opinion. That's the Lord. So opinion, that's the Lord is the supreme, that Krishna is the supreme eternal person, meant to be served eternally by the eternal living beings. So he says, okay, that's basis, foundation is the same. Yes, there's a different understanding after that, but let's do it as a Vaishnava groups, like Prabhupada want us, all of us, but this is, we are one, that this is, even the different groups needed more. Bhaktisiddhanta desires to go together. They had also all written commentaries on the Vedanta, refuting the impersonal teaching of Sankaracharya. So that was on that foundation, or that this says, okay, this is good, agreeable, so let's do something together. So what did he do to make them unify? So these are the 4 our sampradayas. For each sampradaya, these are the names of the acharyas in different names, or acharyas names are here. So what he find that praising how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu praised the conclusion, he find that how did he praised all that sampradayas. So for Srila Madhvacharya, he praised that they are refuting the Mayavadi doctrine and the worship of the form of Krishna, knowing it to be eternal. So they are refuting the Mayavadi and they are worshipping the form of Krishna, and they think this, they understand this is Krishna's eternal. And for Ramanujacharyas, that says, but they have appreciation for them was that they are pure devotion and service to Vaishnavas is there. And for that, first there was a wholesome understanding, okay, appreciation, then for individual sampradayas is happening, is described here. So for Rudra Sampradaya, they felt that they have an attitude of God being one, and all. And the Raga Marga Patha, spontaneous devotion. And for Kumara Sampradaya, they have a Raga Marg and performing bhajan and falling in the footsteps of gopis. So the intention was finding the appreciation and not just say, oh, they are different. Yeah, appreciating. And this is for lesson for us also. Prabhupada has given us a beautiful uh, place to, and he gave us a foundation. Okay, this is what you need to do, but we don't have to, we have to be very respectful for other sampradaya um, and take it, they're good, and whatever Prabhupada aligned to Prabhupada and respect, and even it's not aligned to Brahma Sampradaya, but still we need to have a very Vaishnavas. For Vaishnava means very respectful place. It's for our own safety, for on our safety of our journey to go back to Godhead. So here, how did he execute Achantya Bheda Tattva? So he constructed the temple with 4 Vaishnava Sampradaya and the main acharyas. So I'm fortunate enough, I went to Mayapur and I was able to have darshan of this particular temple. In 1923, and Rajapatna work was begun, and beautiful 29 pinnacle temple in which of the 4 Vaishnava Sampradaya and the 4 main acharyas are all honored. On each outer corner of the building, there's a deity, each sampradaya and the acharyas. So this is the deities which we, the Chaitanya Much one. So Gandharvika Giridhari, and around that, outside of that, there's a 4 temple been for established for small are there, like for all the 4 sampradaya, to respect them and recognize them. So Srila Bhaktivedanta Sarasvati Thakura, along with established this particular temple, he has gone to all the places of 4 acharyas, studied their book, their deities worship, and he published many of their writing along with their life histories. So Bhaktisiddhanta ki jai ho, that what an effort. So sorry, I think this was supposed to come afterward, but it's so nice to be here, no problem. So how, when we are learning all this, so how I can evaluate by myself that I'm progressing in spiritual life? So this Bhaktisiddhanta has given answer in this this book. His answer is there, answer of Bhaktisiddhanta is this: Bhaktisiddhanta taught that one can measure, is my attraction for material things slackening? Is this quality of simplicity developing in my life? So we have to question our myself. If I just want a shelter in that which is spiritual, and I accept other thing is required, otherwise not having an interest in them, that is the sign one is making a spiritual advancement. But a simple, just being honest, look at inside you. Is that I'm after material things, and it's just not material things in my subtle level also, I mean subconsciously also, am I my consciousness is demanding something to be recognized, to be something, or have some achieved something? Is this just checking, being truthful? As Bhaktivinoda Thakura, just check where your attention is going, where your, when something come, or where your attention go, where your shelter is. When I was reading, I was saying, I needed to find in every step, where is my shelter go when something happen? And I says that 100 times it goes in to the material one. So a lot of work to do about myself. So this is prior to, this is the first story which Prabhu was telling yesterday during sharing time, Padmadisha Prabhu. So this prior to this, this is the story where first in he accepted for Bhaktisiddhanta accepted first disciple. So before that, Bhaktisiddhanta never given an initiation before this time. So in 1906, Sri Rohini Kumara Ghosh, the nephew of Chandra Madhva Ghosh Mahashya, the former justice of Calcutta High Court, had a wonderful dream, and as a result approached Siddhanta Saraswati for initiation. The boy had gone to stay with some boy, and so-called guru and his consort who was instructed to address his mother and father. This person were actually sinful rascal in the guise of devotee. But while he was in Mayapur, he had the good fortune to hear from Siddhanta Saraswati for a long time. He returned to the place of Bol, and feeling ill, he lay down to rest. In dream, Bol took the form of a tiger and the form of the tigress. They were about to devour the unfortunate lad who was trying his best to take shelter of Lord Gurasundra. At that moment, Siddhanta Saraswati arrived on the scene, chased the tiger away, and began to lead him to Mayapur. The boy woke at daybreak and proceeded to Mayapur, where he heard disclosure from Siddhanta Saraswati for several days. Finally, he begged for initiation from his severe, so feeling that Siddhanta Saraswati took mercy on him. So this is the one of the humility. Uh, that story is in this particular book where that humility was exhibited. So this is our Prabhupada picture, but I didn't find the other picture to show. Just a point to show that when Guru is sitting and disciples and Gurus are sitting, Guru has to have some asana higher than the disciples. So that's the sign of respect. So there was a one student, or not friend, the student who was used to in the same school of Bhaktisiddhanta. It was a Sanskrit, no, it was astrology school. And he met one time during this, after once he had a disciple. And when he came, he was now a very like famous or established lawyer. So he had some, yeah, I am something. And he came and he sat next to Bhaktisiddhanta on the same level. And that moment, Bhaktisiddhanta, one of the disciples, took his chadar and he put it in underneath. He offered to Bhaktisiddhanta to sit. So that kind of was little higher platform, even it was a chadar. That time, that friend, he felt offended. He felt, how come, means you're thinking I'm nothing or I'm low, whatever, means what is, so he did not understand. That time, so that point, sorry, there is written. So that point was that the former, so that time Bhaktisiddhanta did not feel offended at all. But the point was that time, the former disciple of Srila Bhakti Sarasvati Thakura, it was not proper for him to assume an equal position. So that means it's for his own benefit this was happening, because he doesn't know what he was doing. So especially since Srila Saraswati Thakur had now become Tridandi sannyasi, Srila Saraswati Thakur did not object, but it was pointed for, sorry, so I cannot read it, but yeah, point for his follower that this is an exhibition of humility of his part. When Krishna, thus Kaviraj Goswami says, Jagai magai hoite moi se papisata, puri se rakita hoite moi se lagisita. I am more sinful than Jagai and Magai. I'm lower than a worn in stool. It is not that one is to take him at his word. One is the position of a guru, and sannyas is always to be so honored by his disciple. So whatever that our position is, our safeguard is for our own benefit, for our long journey, and whatever Krishna has decided for us, for our own protection spiritually, that we should keep very careful to give honor to our guru or sannyasis. So Srila Bhaktisiddhanta left this material world in 1937 at 5:30, and he entered into the pastime of Supreme Lord. So either this is the picture or very similar to this kind of picture was published in the newspaper. I did not able to find that published newspaper. I really tried to see. I find it there was a half of the face was cut and somebody seems like some modification was happened. So I couldn't able to find that paper, but in the front page, it was that story was published about the departure of Bhaktisiddhanta. And he left, he was spent last day in Jagannath Puri in Chatak Parvita. So Chatak Parvita is kind of like similar to that, the vibes are there like a Govardhan Parvat. Bhaktisiddhanta has a lot of love and affection for Govardhan. That's why even for the deities also he gave from Giridhari's name, from Giridhari name. And he was used to recite so many prayers to the Govardhan. And even that during this time, he mostly spent time to give masses to his disciple and chanting and uh, meditating on the Jagannath and doing so many prayer, even the meditation on Bhaktivedanta, so many prayers that I'm nothing. So there was so much humility in that part reading that he was feeling so much humility and that I'm nothing. I wasted my life. And I was thinking, oh my God, Bhaktisiddhanta is thinking he is nothing. And we feel, at least I feel in my consciousness that, oh, I'm something. And we are so much proud and so much doership is there, but Bhaktisiddhanta is like amazing. Here, Sat Bhaktisiddhanta, Sarasvati Thakura and Srila Prabhupada is in their last days, give many warning about cooperation and not allowing ourselves to be falsely motivated by pride and egoism. So both of our acharyas, prominent acharyas are giving us warning that if we are not going to work it together with the cooperation, yes, we are very different flower of this bouquet of Prabhupada. We all have a different nature. We all have a different understanding. We all have a different things, expert on different things, or a different gift as Krishna has provided to us. And there will be always, when there was people, there will be always some conflict, some things will be, it's the nature of material world. So we are in this material world. But what we have to do it just to remain that bouquet of Srila Prabhupada and Bhaktisiddhanta and work on and notice on our false motivation and pride and egoism. That's the checking point for us. And that's why we are now responsibility from Bhaktisiddhanta to Srila Prabhupada to there's so many amazing acharyas we have in our ISKCON. And now on the new generation, the whole this responsibilities on all of us and to prepare the generation to carry on that responsibility. So I feel we are the fortunate one to even to be related to or connected with this responsibility. So here I love this quote and I wanted to end with this quote that Bhaktisiddhanta during that time when he was preparing himself to leave this world, that time many quotes Bhaktisiddhanta has shared, but I was feeling this one is the very closer to our heart, at least my heart, that big learning for me. Then when fault in other misguide and delude you, have patience, introspect, and find fault in yourself. Know that the other cannot harm you unless you harm yourself. This is so big. Find fault in yourself. Always, anything happen, if anything feeling bad, turn around because there's something which other person is actually by doing that, they are pointing something which we feel is lacking in us. Actually, by doing that, they are showing, they're fingering out there's something. And when I'm feeling angry, I'm feeling frustrated, that means I'm worried about my fault. And they're just being instrument to show my fault. And it's like his Bhaktisiddhanta is like a big soul healer. So if we, healer of soul. So what usually we do is we feel so, oh, I'm the victim. These things are not working. That things are not working. I can't do that. Sorry. This is my capacity or this or that. And we tied ourselves, we put ourselves into that prison. And guess what? What Bhaktisiddhanta is saying, who has the key? Actually, I'm the only have the keys to open this prison. There's nobody or everybody, whosoever we feel something, they are actually an instrument to show something in me. And I was amazed because there's many healer people are working in this material world. There's many people are actually working on some level to see what is happening with them. And there's many different ways of their approaches are there. and they are doing, but they can only stay up to one level. Bhaktisiddhanta, or this process, Krishna conscious process, take us to beyond of our, that it heal yourself soul. Leave this baggage here and come back to me. That's Krishna messages. So all glories to Bhaktisiddhanta, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, with the amazing teaching, amazing foundation for us, that we can just look it into ourselves, in our fault, and introspect and let it go. Why I needed to carry that, and prepare ourselves to go back to God, and whatever Krishna ways, and assist in the journey of this mission of Prabhupada and Bhaktisiddhanta. Thank you so much. Kindly share or correct me if I did any mistake, and kindly share the realization. It will be really wonderful to hear Bhaktisiddhanta glories, because we spent 2 days, and we kind of covered the essence of Raya Vishnus. So kindly correct me. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Mataji, thank you so much. Very nicely crafted presentation. The flow was excellent. The pictures that you had in the slides were very clearly communicating the message. You made so many beautiful points throughout the presentation. So really feel very thankful that you spent this much time to enlighten us. I would like basically devotees to unmute themselves and just have like 5 clapping for Mataji. Can we do that?
Oh, please, Prabhu, please. Oh,
Let's do
Krishna.
everybody, okay?
Hi.
So
Oh,
no,
please.
let's do together. Let's everybody, unmute
Oh,
yourself
no.
and then
Prabhu.
do 5 times, okay?
Hari Bol, Prabhu, please. It's all,
Thank you.
oh,
Thank you
Hari.
for but
All
don't
I'm
say anything.
learning
It's
about,
better. You just keep quiet, Mataji. You just, thank you so much for doing it.
all
We
the
feel
devotees mercy, Prabhu, all devotees mercy. Is like, I'm so touched that I've even put small efforts from our side, and devotees are so acceptance, so much encouragement is from their self, that they glorify anything. So it's all because of you, and all the glories of all the devotees here, Prabhu, and all the glories of Srila Prabhupada and Rupa Vilas Prabhu. Prabhu, thank you.
so
Who
Srila
wrote this?
Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Bhaktisiddhanta Swami Maharaj ki jai.
Jai.
Mataji ki jai. Mataji, you presented a critical example. So that's why the one thing that makes the pastime of our Acharya very important for us is that they have lived the life. So your presentation was basically very much helping us understand, him walking on this planet. So thank you so much. We'll take some time and I will let other devotees who didn't share their realization yesterday, if they have anything that they would like to share. I don't want to go and call out the name one by one. Kindly go ahead, unmute yourself as, whoever spoke yesterday, I think it's better to let other devotees give the chance. So please, everybody, get like, minute or 2 or 3 or whatever you have. Keep it short so that other devotee can get chance, and let's do some offering to his divine grace. So let's start with